Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to this customer service representative training today. My name is Mary Walker, and today we're going to be discussing how to think diversely when you speak, as well as on how your communication really matters when speaking to customers or employees here. When you look around, you may think that our company definitely looks diverse, right? However, there's a lot more factors that go into diversity than some of you may realize. For example, think about the different age range of people that you work with or the different gender identities that people have. Also, think about the socioeconomic backgrounds that people share or the socioeconomic status that they have. Now, when I talk about socioeconomic status, I'm not talking about the poor people or the rich people. There's a lot of other factors such as location, education, cultural things that go into someone's socioeconomic status. And it's not to say that one is more or lesser than the other. They just each have different values that they bring to the table. Again, not more or less, just different. Now, it's important that we're talking about our communication today because one fun fact from CareerBuilder, they did a research study and they found that 62% of employees are more likely to choose a candidate who has good communication skills over one with strong technical skills. Now, I know that we're not applying for jobs here, seeing that we already have them. However, this just shows how strongly that your communication really matters, that people are hiring candidates based on how they can communicate, not as how the skills that they have. So it's super important that we can be communicators. Three major things that I'm going to touch on today is how we use our vocabulary, the method of delivery that we choose to use, and the approach that we use when we're speaking to others. First, starting off with vocabulary. Something that I like to say is no gain in slang, right? Whether you're talking to employees or customers, there's not really going to be any kind of gain if you're using some slang. It may be tempting when we're on the phone with people or maybe using the chat to say some words that are not necessarily in the dictionary but definitely part of our pop culture language. However, this is just going to be very unprofessional for us. So definitely just use words that are in the dictionary. Sometimes using jargon can be appropriate, but definitely read your room. If you're talking to somebody who maybe doesn't seem to have as much education as you do, try and use words that you know are going to be common for them and help them to understand. As far as gender goes, there's lots of different kinds of gender identities now, and people are choosing to use pronouns much more, which is totally fine, right? Us as customer service representatives, it's not our business to gender somebody or know exactly what that is. We just want to try and be more inclusive. So we can use words such as they, them, and their to kind of help be more inclusive for people. Next is the method of delivery that we're choosing to use. Now, this can have to do with the customers mostly. It does also apply to maybe meetings and such when we're talking to our directors, but it's mostly the communication that we're having with our customers. So as you all know, we have the chat, the phone, and then like in person, anybody can come to our office and speak, right? I know that cell phones are super prominent right now, so for us, it may be more convenient to definitely jump to the chat to talk to somebody or just do a phone call and try and solve a quick problem. But us being inclusive, part of that is making sure that we are communicating in the best way for the customer, right? What is going to be the best way for them? Pew Research did a study that said many Americans view mobile devices as harmful and distracting to group dynamics. They also found that 5% of people in the study think it is generally okay to use cell phones in a meeting. So that's only 5%. So the other 95% said they don't really like the use of phones, right? Now this is talking about group and meeting settings. However, it still shows that doing phone calls and chats are just not necessarily always the right answer, right? If you're talking to somebody on the phone and they're maybe not getting the steps, definitely offer that in-person communication and offer that office setting where we can really walk through things with them one-on-one. There are instances as well where maybe somebody is at work and they can't come in or they can't be on the phone and the chat is going to be super great and helpful for them. So use your skills and determine that as well, however it's going to help communicate with them the best. Lastly, we're going to discuss the approach that you choose to use. This can include being professional, patient, and proactive. I like to say the 3 P's, right? When you're speaking, try really hard to be professional, okay? Be calm, don't get angry, try not to be sloppy, don't be judgmental, right? If you're speaking to somebody on the phone and they say something that's not kind to you, maybe you don't understand it, maybe it seems rude, try and be calm with them, right? Part of our job is to be professional. Something that goes along with professionalism is patience as well. So something that can, a way that we can show our patience is just ensuring that they get all the information that they need. And being patient shows the customers that we care, right? It also it also shows your other coworkers, your directors, your higher ups, right? It shows them that you care. Listening can definitely be really loud, right? If you're listening to what someone has to say and really caring about what they have to say, it will be impactful for them, and it can definitely be a way that we can be inclusive. Lastly, being proactive, right, in your approach to speaking, being proactive means that you're really aware of what's going on, right? You're taking in all of the clues, so helping them communicate or helping them understand what is a better communication route for them. Again, not speaking but listening will go a really long way. And then just being aware of their needs too, right? As I had talked about earlier, maybe if you're talking to someone on the phone and they're not understanding, part of being proactive is offering that in-person help or offering that chat if that is going to be better for them. So just some takeaways that we should really go home with is think about the vocabulary that you're using when you're speaking. Think about what kind of approach that you're using. We have the online, we have the in-person, and then just think about the approach that you're using when speaking to customers and your employees. Thank you for coming.